Hello, my name is Jenny Ballou. Have you ever heard of organ transplant or life-saving surgery? Well, chances are this was made possible through the process of organ donation. Thousands of people each year are saved through the process of organ donation, but millions still need our help. I myself am an organ donor, which means when I was getting my driver's license, I decided to put a heart on my driver's license saying that when I was clinically brain dead, the doctors could remove my organs and match them to people who needed them so that way they could go on and live healthy, happy lives. Organ donation is a way for all of us to help people and make an impact on other lives. Today I'll be talking about organ donation and how it affects the recipient themselves, how it impacts the donor's family, and how you can become an organ donor today. I'd like to start with the effect on the recipient. So, organ donation can be anything from a vital organ, such as your heart or your lungs, or it can be something simple like a tissue graft for people victims of an explosion or fire. I'm going to start with the story of Sonja. In an article retrieved from LifeSource on April 17, 2026, we learned about Sonja, who was otherwise a healthy woman, went into a clinic one day because she was feeling under the weather, and they told her her heart, kidney, and lungs were all in failure. Due to an organ donation, she was able to have all 3 surgeries and is now living a happy and healthy life. The next story I'd like to talk about is George. In an article retrieved from Donate Life America on April 30th, 2026, we learned about George, who had a double cornea transplant. He was going blind in his eyes, and they told him it was a genetic condition, and otherwise he would go completely blind. Due to his organ donation that he received, he is now able to watch both of his grandchildren grow up happy and healthy, and be there for all of the important milestones. Next, I'd like to talk about the effect that organ donation has on the donor's family. Now, there are 2 types of donors, non-living and living, but I'm going to focus on the non-living donors for this speech. To start, have you heard of an honor walk? So an honor walk, and they do have them occasionally in medical TV series, is basically where the patient or the donor is usually in a bed connected to a tube breathing for them. The family lines the beds and they walk towards the OR with the patient, and the hallways are lined with staff and loved ones to say goodbye. Now, not only is this a way to help provide closure for the family, but it also just shows them how much that their sacrifice from their loved one is appreciated and respected. I'm going to be talking to you specifically about a story retrieved from ABC News 11, their website, about a teenage boy who was tragically killed in a skateboarding accident and how his heart went on to save the life of another. So his heart was then transplanted into a 45-year-old male who was a lifeguard and now is happy and healthy and saving more and more lives each and every day. The news station and Mr. George decided that it would be good to get together and allow the mother and the girlfriend of the boy to listen to his heart. Now, their family found it extremely comforting and gave them closure through the experience to be able to hear a piece of their son living on and helping others. But I would like to point out that this is not the case for a lot of people, but in this case, it was definitely beneficial to their healing process. However, each journey through grief is different. Lastly, I'd like to focus on how anyone can be a donor. According to an article from Health Resources and Services Administration retrieved on April 17, 2026, anyone can be a donor. There are a few health conditions that put slight limitations on it, such as uncontrolled diabetes or even cancer. But even in those cases, exceptions can be made and forms can be signed saying from the recipient, I understand that my donor had this health condition, but I am still willing to accept this donation, and so on and so forth. According to an article written by Legal Clarity, becoming an organ donor is a legal document. So this pertains specifically to your driver's license. So that's the easiest way to become an organ donor is when you go and you say, yes, I want to sign up to be a donor. They can put the heart on your driver's license like I have, and it tells the doctors that should a situation arise to where you are clinically brain dead, only after that they are allowed to harvest your organs, match them to other people, and use them to save other people's lives. Now, according to this article, it is a legal document, so nobody, like your family or your spouse, can change your wishes after that. You alone can change that. So if you decide one day, I don't want to be an organ donor anymore, you can go to the website and you can go through a form saying that I rescind my permission, I don't no longer want to be an organ donor, and you can change it from there. But it is a legally binding process, so it's definitely something that you should think about before committing to. But if, again, you change your mind down the line, that is okay. It's not a no take back. You can always take it back. In review, being an organ donor is a gift, not only to the recipient, but also to the lives that they go on to impact. With your help, you could save up to 8 lives with your major organs and impact up to 75 more. In closing, I hope this has given you a few points to consider about being an organ donor and how it impacts those receiving them. Become an organ donor today and change lives. Thank you. Are there any questions?